You might have seen Daniel Incerpi rallying students in the kennel. That's because he runs the Gonzaga kennel board for the basketball games. For Incerpi, sports are integral to his life, but it's not just the sports games.
I've always loved watching and listening to some of the really good commentators and thinking about how they impact my viewer experience, and now that's something that I really want to do, and just be able to carry the excitement of a game, tell stories, through sports like that.
As a high school football player, Incerpi carried that passion for telling stories through sports when he first arrived on Gonzaga's campus.
When I was a senior in high school, I got to go to one of Dan's classes and sat in on that, and at the end he asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to be a sports broadcaster, play-by-play, and he said, this is a good place for you.
And Professor Dan Garrity was right.
Taking 203 and getting put in front of the camera for the first time, definitely a lot of adrenaline running, but to be able to be in that environment, in such a positive learning environment, show myself that I can do it, show myself that I enjoy doing it. And I think from just like that first instance on camera, I was like, yes, this is definitely what I want to do. There's never that time where I was like, God, is this really what I want? Like, just the way that, the adrenaline's pumping, and I was just able to kind of build more confidence throughout.
Since the beginner broadcasting class, Incerpi has leapt for on-camera opportunities. That goal of one day becoming a sports broadcaster always in mind.
Their own pin and their name to the list. They have some work to do.
Hello and welcome into the Martin Center. I am Daniel Incerpi.
What started out as only one bed has grown to over 20 for patients to fall.
Incerpi got a major boost to that goal of becoming a sports broadcaster in 2017 when he took part in GUTV Takes LA.
Welcome to beautiful Marina del Rey, California. I'm Daniel Incerpi.
Incerpi traveled to Los Angeles to see how alumni handle the Gonzaga versus Loyola Marymount University men's basketball game.
Really, I was sitting on the baseline of the game, camera on my shoulder, like the stuff you see on the news, the real deal. And it was finally my opportunity to do it. It was such a professional environment, such a professional setting. And I shot the highlights, I had to write the highlights, I had to make my deadline at night. And that practice, I think, is so invaluable. Dan would just put a phone in front of us and just say, go. And you just have to go. And that's what it's about. Like, you don't have the time to think about, oh, well, maybe I should say this. No, it's like, just go. I feel like after that trip, like I can do anything.
It was a blast. It really was so much fun to be able to capture that energy in LA.
I think my dream is to definitely have a national broadcast, like play-by-play. I've always envisioned myself like being the voice of a big game, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to definitely work towards.
And the fruits of his labor have finally begun to show. Now a sports intern at SWX in Spokane, Incerpi not only writes highlights for KHQ's Nightly Sports, but also got to set up, stack, and anchor his own show.
The #1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs taking on the Pacific Tigers in an afternoon matchup in the McCarthy Athletic Center.
And remember his dream of becoming a play-by-play sports broadcaster? He is headed in the right direction.
Welcome back into the Spokane Arena. Our coverage of State B continues here on SWX. I'm Daniel Incerpi. It's the final day of State B action here in Spokane. The consolation games are wrapped up.
It was just so much fun to have to research these teams and learn about these small schools from some small towns, and to just think about, it was cool to see how big the moment was for the players. And then for me, like, it was equally as big because it was, finally me getting to do what I wanted to do. It was the biggest stage I'd been on yet.
With the effort Daniel Incerpi puts into his work, that stage will only grow. And who knows, you may hear his voice during March Madness. Evan Olson, GUTV.